I've been doing some thinking, and I think I found out why Michigan State made the Final Four. The sports gods are looking down, they're like, since 2016, the year the Cubs won the World Series, since 2016, we've been beating you down with a spiky metal club just relentlessly. Here, why don't we give you this, and don't tell your parents. That's what Michigan State making the Final Four was. Very happy about that. I do have a hat right here. Why don't we, put this bad boy on. I do want to get a Final Four shirt if I can. But that's besides the point. We have the Final Four set. The 4 teams are Texas Tech, Michigan State, Auburn, and Virginia. So I saw that only 0.02% of brackets predicted this Final Four. In a bracket that is, I got my good old bracket here. It's damn filled with red marks everywhere. I got none of the Final Four right for back-to-back years. Last year, I had Michigan State, Virginia. I had Michigan State, Virginia, Purdue, and Xavier. That was bad. This year, I had Duke, Tennessee, Florida State, and Wofford, and that is useless. So, today we're going to preview the games. By the way, we'll be coming with a full game stream, not just for Michigan State versus Texas Tech, but both games will have full game streams. So, first, let's talk about Michigan State and Texas Tech. Now, this is interesting because Texas Tech, they have gone through wins against North Kentucky, Buffalo, Michigan, and Gonzaga. Those are some pretty good teams. Like, besides North Kentucky, Buffalo's a legit team, Michigan a legit team, Gonzaga a legit team. That's 3 legit, very, very good teams. And I think Buffalo should have been a 5. And they blew out Buffalo, blew out Michigan, had a great win against Gonzaga. They are looking pretty good. As for Michigan State, they struggled with Bradley. That was a scare and a half. Beat Bradley, Minnesota, LSU, and Duke. I think Texas Tech has gone through tougher teams. Yes, we have gone through the toughest team, that being Duke. But I think Michigan's better than LSU. I think Buffalo is way, way better than Minnesota. And I think Bradley is a lot better of a team than North Texas. So, I feel like Texas Tech has been more battle-tested. And Texas Tech, they play some of the best defense that I've seen. There's another defensive team in the Final Four, that being Virginia. We'll talk about them later. But we'll have to see. A matchup I want to see is Cassius Winston versus John Moretti. I can't remember his first name. I'm just going to call him, I think it's John Moretti. Please correct me in the comments. Winston versus Moretti is going to be great because I know Moretti is one of the best defensive guards in the country. Winston has already gone through a very good defensive guard, that being Trey Jones. And he is on absolute fire right now. The only player that I think of that's hotter right now would be Carson Edwards. He did all he could against Virginia, but Virginia ended up winning. So besides him, I think Cassius Winston is the hottest player in the country. I mean, he's setting up guys. You see, the ball's in Winston's hands. I think they said he either scored or assisted on 62% of Michigan State's points against Duke. He's on absolute fire, and Moretti is going to need to do a good job of covering him, which I'm not sure if he can. But the big thing I'm going to want to see is who Michigan State puts on Jarrett Culver. That man scares me. He scares me. Jarrett Culver is a great player. I think, now, you could put McQuaid on him, which I would suggest doing, but he's a little taller than McQuaid. You could put Tillman on him. I'd put either McQuaid or Tillman on him, both of whom are great defenders, McQuaid and Tillman. I'd put either one of them on him. But I do like Michigan State's chances in this game, but I'm telling you, people are saying, you guys beat Duke. Texas Tech's going to be a cakewalk. It's not. Texas Tech is a great team. I think, now that I look at it, they could have been a 2 seed. If you had docked Kentucky a little bit, or Tennessee, they could have been a 2 seed. I feel like they are a legit team, and I was looking at that region of the bracket. I was like, dang, Michigan and Gonzaga are going to have to go through Texas Tech. I did pick Buffalo to beat Texas Tech, but that was tough for me. But Texas Tech is a great team. I'm not going to discredit them any. They're an awesome team. I like Texas Tech a lot. But I don't see them stopping the offensive firepower of Michigan State. I think Moretti's going to have a hard time guarding Cassius Winston. I think if we can get hot from three, I think it's going to be no problem. We beat Duke, and I think Duke outshot us from three. It was either 4-5 or 5-5 for made threes. I can't remember. If we can nail some threes, we're going to be good. The only thing, though, and this applies for both games, I'm just going to mention this real quick. So you're playing in a football stadium. It's in Minnesota this year, that U.S. Bank Stadium. So you're used to having, like, the fans kind of, like, right behind the basket. Like, good, like, depth reception on your shot. It's like a big open space behind the basket. So they said it throws off your depth. I don't know. They said something about it last year with Loyola Chicago, and that's why they weren't hitting as many things. I don't even know. But that's just one thing I'm going to, I guess, throw out. Now let's talk about Virginia and Auburn. So this game isn't close on paper. If you look on paper, Auburn is going to get slaughtered. But I'm not so sure about that. I know Jared Harper. I'm going to quickly go. And Bryce Brown. Jared Harper and Bryce Brown. These guys are studs. Jared Harper and Bryce Brown can ball. They can straight ball. My friend who's a Kentucky fan, he goes, okay, Ashton Hagans is our best defender, right? He goes, whenever we would put Hagans on Bryce Brown, Jared Harper would score. Whenever we put Hagans on Jared Harper, Bryce Brown would score. I don't know how you match up against them defensively. They're just a firepower guard tandem. But I think if there's any defensive team that can match up to them, it's Virginia. Their pack line defense, I'm not a huge fan of that. But it's worked throughout the tournament, and I can't discredit them for that. They have made it work. That was a crazy OT game against Purdue, but here's the thing. I think Auburn's better than Purdue. Even though they're a 2-point difference with seeds, I like Auburn a lot better than I do Purdue. I think part of the reason Purdue was even close to that game was just Carson Edwards went straight God mode. I mean, that dude couldn't miss. He's been the best player in the tournament so far. Get out of here with your Zion Williamson. Carson Edwards, hands down, best player in the tournament. Best player in the tournament this year. And he couldn't will him past Virginia. So I do like Kyle Guy and Ty Jerome matching up. That's going to be a great guard matchup. Ty Jerome and Kyle Guy against Jared Harper and Bryce Brown. I think they're going to put Bryce Brown. I think it's going to be Bryce Brown versus Jerome and Jared Harper versus Kyle Guy. That's going to be great to watch. Another guy we'll talk about, old blonde waves himself, Diakite. He's been great down low for them. I don't see if there's anybody on Auburn who can stop him. I mean, he's playing at another level right now. I do like Diakite, old blonde waves himself, as I like to call him. But this is close. Here's the thing. An edge I give to Auburn is they go fast. And not only do they just go fast, they go fast well. When they put UNC, people say, you can't run with UNC. They're just going to zoom back and down the fourth. They'll run you out of the game. And Auburn's are like, we're going to run with UNC. And everybody's like, that's a mistake. You don't run with UNC. They're going to run you out of the game. And Auburn ran them out of the game. I mean, they did what UNC does best, and they turned it against them and just ran up and down the court. Bryce Brown, Jared Harper, everybody. They just zoom, 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 zoom. They were just... To get by the pack line defense, you either go fast or you shoot really well from three. Because with their pack line defense, they get time to set up. They do whatever it is they do. They bring help and they push it. They do what they do. If you go fast, they don't have the time. They don't have time to set up and counter, circumvent that. That's why I'm going to take Auburn in this game. That's going to be an unpopular opinion, but I think it'll eventually be Michigan State versus Auburn in the championship, which I'm not going to predict that game. Championship preview video is for a different day. So I'm not going to get into that. But I will mention the QBS Bracket Challenge real quick. I did a community post about the top 10. As of the top 10, there's, I think, 5 people who picked Virginia. There's 1 person who picked Texas Tech. And there's 1 person in the top 10 that picked Michigan State. Although I scrolled down a little bit, there's a decent number of people picking Michigan State. So it's either going to be whoever picks, if Virginia wins, whoever has the highest out of those Virginia brackets will win. If Texas Tech, the one guy, Mike Thunder, on Twitch, go check him out, I guess. He's the only guy that picked Texas Tech, so if Texas Tech wins, he will win. If Auburn, now no one picked Auburn. I looked, no one picked Auburn. They were to win, that would bring up an interesting dilemma because we'll have to see who has the highest points, but without that, I don't know. If Auburn wins, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I've looked at the top 10. Pretty tightly competitive. It's going to come down to pretty much who gets these last 3 games. But the road ends here. 3 more games left in the college basketball season. It's sad to see them go, but at least they will be good games. Full game streams coming for both of them. Hope Michigan State ends up winning that. Very scared, but also excited. Texas Tech is going to be a good challenge for us. But thank you guys for watching. Leave your picks below. I take Michigan State and Virginia wins. Leave your picks. I'm curious to see what you guys are going to say. But thank you guys for watching this in-depth analysis of the Final Four. I'll see you next time. Oh, also, Final Four hype video should be dropping sometime this week.